Good morning.
Hey everybody, welcome. So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna keep the chat open public. So we're gonna try to make this call short and sweet and everybody get back to their day. But the chat will be open to the public. We have members of our customer support team that'll be in the chat answering questions live. So if you have any questions you want us to cover or anything when Brad and Kathy are talking, you'd like them to address or go back over, just drop that in the chat, please. And we'll try to address those in real time in the chat, or anything at the end that we don't cover, we'll revisit during a quick Q&A. Again, if you're joining us, thank you for taking the time to join us today. The chat is open and we have members of our customer service team ready to answer your questions. So my name's Scott. I think most everybody's seen me on these calls before. I'm sales and marketing here at Switch. Appreciate y'all joining us. Excited to have Kathy and Brad with us today. Everybody knows Kathy Roberts, CEO of Switch Reward Card, and Brad Willden, our president and COO. So we're gonna, it's been an exciting, crazy roller coaster couple weeks in the crypto industry as always. So we're just gonna give everybody some updates and talk through that and answer everybody's questions. The main takeaway we want everybody to know from this call, and I'm going to let Kathy and Brad cover this in detail, is Switch is still moving forward. We're pivoting and we're reacting and doing the best we can and moving forward. And we want to keep y'all in the loop on all those exciting things we got going on. So on this next slide, everybody's seen this slide before. I want to just take a minute, talk about like the legal compliance side of things. We do, forward-looking statement, meaning, and the last couple of weeks are a great, representation of this, is we can't control everything in the world or the market. What we present to you is what we plan on doing to the best of our abilities. If you're watching this back on YouTube, we are recording this and going to be sharing this on our YouTube. So feel free to pause this to read it if you'd like to, just to, trying to make sure, as we always have with Switch, to do things. Compliance comes from the top. All right, so this next slide, again, I'm going to hand it over to Kathy, and she's going to make a statement, and we're going to go over to Brad, talk about some new exciting stuff. So Kathy, take it away.
Thank you. And yeah, I am in my courtyard garden. So it's completely secure, but we wanted to start out today with a statement about what's happened in the markets with Prime Trust. And I think you all know who I am. I'm Kathy Roberts. I'm the CEO. So anything that goes on, if it's a hard thing, it's my fault. But in this particular case, when we're talking about Prime Trust, I just want to be sure that everybody understands the difference in that organization. So I think everybody right now is aware that they were shut down by the Nevada state regulators, the Financial Institution Division. They were put into receivership. The receiver themselves have not been announced yet, to my knowledge. But we do know that they have over $80 million in outstanding liabilities. Now, unfortunately, Prime Trust was the custodian and payment provider for the Switch trading platform. And this was the custodial trade wallet utilized for buying and selling crypto on-ramp and off-ramp fiat. I'd wanted to point out that that is different. We've always said about the two wallets, from your self-custodial wallet, where your digital rewards are deposited. That's one of the reasons I think that the impact could have been a little bit lower than maybe other places. Then when we learned about it, it was on Thursday, June 22nd. As soon as we knew, we sent out that email to our trade wallet customers that same morning. Later that day, we sent an additional email letting you know that we had already previously signed 2 other vendors. And let me make sure you heard the word previously. I've always been a person who's interested in having more than one vendor, and redundancies in our systems had nothing to do with what happened with Prime Trust we were already working on those, and you'll hear a little bit more about that later. But we've been working to build the necessary platforms, the protocols to integrate with those vendors already. And it's not an easy task. It does take time, but that was already going on. One of those vendors being our international OTC platform, is we demoed that to you in May to the community. And I know there have been users on that since. So that one, we'll talk a little bit more about that, is coming to fruition quickly. And then another backup vendor in redundancy to Prime Trust. We're already working on those. The funds in those accounts at Prime Trust are frozen, and we don't know more about it until we hear further action from the Fed, the Nevada regulator. But as Scott said, Switch continues to be moving forward. If you have any doubt about that, you just look at my hair. It's a big hair day. All the kids who used to work for me said, watch out, something's happening on a big hair day. Question marks we've had. Did we have funds at Prime Trust? Yes, we did. Not a lot. And I've had friends who've always told me, no matter which custodial wallet I use, never to keep more than about, at the maximum, $10,000 in that wallet. Always keep that wallet light, is what friends have told me to do. And I've kind of followed that myself. We did have some company funds at Prime Trust, just enough to cover the trading fees and the reserves that we needed there, but no means ever will we have all of our eggs in one basket as a company. We don't have a lot more information, but our policy has always been to let you know as soon as we know anything that's going on. And in this case with Prime Trust, I made immediate inquiries, both to the regulator, to the state, etc. So as things come out, we will continue to let you know, even though there are things that you could pick up yourself, we will continue to keep track of those announcements and make sure those get to you right away. I do want to encourage questions. I don't see them at this point, but somebody can get back to you if you do have a question on these points. And this is a bump in the road, but we're going to keep going. Big hair day. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. I need to make a note to watch out for big hair days in the future. Brad and I don't have to worry about that. You know, but thanks. All right. So recap, we're moving forward. Prime Trust was a setback, but we've got other vendors and we're moving forward, and we'd already been moving forward with those vendors. So to talk more about that, I'm going to hand it over to Brad. Brad Willden, COO and president of Switch Reward Card. And Brad, you're going to tell us more about forward moving actions, forward moving vendors, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I just saw a text from Chris come through. I know your name's Scott. So, but I do want to step back for 2 seconds. I know Kathy mentioned it, but it's interesting the way we're set up. And unfortunately, this did happen with Prime Trust. But I do want to go back and kind of just say how I use our 2 wallets. We have 2 wallets for a reason. For the mere fact of what just happened with Prime Trust. The only time you should be using and we keep hearing custodial and non-custodial. Just real quick, custodial means someone else is the custodian of those digital assets. You do not have the key phrase for those digital assets. Non-custodial means they're yours. There's no custodian of those assets and you have the key phrase. So the way I like to explain to use our 2 wallets is anytime you need to bring, and in the crypto world, they talk about on and off ramping fiat. All that is depositing and withdrawing cash. So then you can either buy your digital assets or you sell your digital assets and withdraw them. That's about how fast it should be. You should send or deposit your cash into your, and we call it the trade wallet. That's our custodial wallet. You should deposit your cash in there, buy your digital assets, and then send your digital assets to the rewards wallet, which is our non-custodial wallet, which you own the digital assets, or you can send them to a cold storage. But it is key, whatever you're using, that you do not hold your digital assets in the whatever, if it's Switch or another competitor's custodial wallet, do not hold your digital assets in there. that's why we've set it up this way. We've been ahead of the game. Then they won't be frozen if anything were able to happen with that custodian. So that's our main focus there is, hey, let's use our wallets the way they're set up. Either withdraw your cash quickly if you sell your digital assets on our platform, or send your digital assets if you're buying them. So I just wanted to kind of revert a little bit back on that. And then now let's talk about the fun stuff. We are still going, we're pushing hard. There have been some bumps in the road, but that doesn't stop us. We've got a good crew. And we've always said, hey, let's have, A, B, and C in case something happens. And so the nice thing is I'm able to announce, we've asked our vendors that we've been with for a while. One of them has been just under a year, and another one has been over probably 2 or 3 months. But we are with Ibanera. That is our global platform that has a working OTC that's currently in alpha testing. So I've been using it. I love it. And as well as a card program that will be tied on that same. And keep in mind that is separate from Prime Trust and separate from what we currently have, because that's our global product to launch globally. The other partner that we have that will be replacing the Prime Trust background, we signed with them in April, is Fortress. They've been around a long time. And I want to mention too that the partners that we've chosen and the vendors, we have a big due diligence process. So we are aware we're not just picking any vendor. If you were to say a year and a half ago, hey, I'm with MCB and Prime Trust, that was like the Cadillac in the payments world for exchange and for payment services. That's who everybody recommended. Some of the largest exchanges, their back end was Prime Trust. So we do a very good due diligence process to choose our vendors. And we are, luckily we have a couple, we have a couple vendors deep. So we're excited to announce those 2 vendors. Once again, Ibanera for our global product, and Fortress, they're also global, but we will be using them domestically here. So excited for that. If we could go to the recording, Scott. This is our global OTC demo. We're going to log in. It's already got 2-factor authentication. We'll plug in our code here. Give it a second. This will log us in. On the left, you can see, this is the history, but on the left, you can see your funding sources for your card, and then the trading. We've clicked on at the bottom. We've said buy crypto. We're going to buy Gala. We're going to buy it with USDC. You can switch out if you want the price in USDC or Gala. We put $100 of Gala. We're going to hit buy. We've already saved a card just for quick purposes. We're going to put in the CVC. So we're buying this with a credit card. Make a payment. It should say approved here in a second. So payment is approved. And then that will show, we'll go to the transaction history real quick here. And you can see that Gala is buy. It's currently pending because it's got to be confirmed, but it's showing that we had purchased it. These are the other areas that you can go to within this platform for our global users. This is if you sold or withdrew any of your sales. This is the quick application form if you want to add your business to it. We're flying through this pretty quick. Went back to Gala to see if it showed up. It shows up in about 30 minutes. What's amazing about this is you can get your crypto and you can send it within an hour. So whereas some of our competitors, it takes them a week for your funds to verify. So if you want to buy or something or send it, it takes forever. So within an hour, you can have your Gala sent to a friend if you'd like. So just give you a heads up there. That is our trade. That is our global OTC demo, but you can see that you can add your card there, top up card, as well as it has your OTC desk of what digital assets you have there, and then you can buy it. Scott, I think, were we going to questions after this? We kind of want to be quick today just to announce that and let everyone know about Prime Trust and where we're at as far as our vendors and where we're going. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Kathy. We do have a couple questions. I think I can answer these questions myself, but I want to pose them to y'all since we have the pleasure of having y'all here. So one question is, was there not a concern when partnering with Prime Trust with them owing their customers before Switch came along? It's my understanding that from all public information, they were in good standing. And
That's
we
correct.
did our due diligence on them as a vendor, and they were viewed as an industry leader in this space. But I'll revert to y'all to answer that question. But I think that's my opinion. But like, since I have y'all here, I'll let y'all answer it.
Yeah, let me go further, and Brad already said a little bit about this. We have a really robust system when we're bringing on a vendor. And in that particular case, it involves some research into the vendor. It involves more than one set of eyeballs looking at them. I will tell you this, that Prime Trust was in good standing with the financial institutions divisions of Nevada at the time that we signed them. In fact, they were thought of as a premier person to partner with. And Brad kind of went over that too. Some of the individuals that we were looking at earlier when we started the process, either were not ready or were not willing to do digital assets. And I had talked to them maybe a year and a half before this, and they were still gearing up. And at that point, when they became ready, when they became qualified and they became premier, we were happy to sign on with them. What we don't know is the information that the receiver will probably bring forth, but we don't know what the failure is or why the failure is. When we know more, we'll give you more, and we'll give you as soon as the receiver and the state gives us more. I made inquiries immediately to the state and to the financial institutions divisions on all our behalfs.
Fantastic. So next question, I feel confident to answer this. So Linda asked, for those that own black cards, are you going to give us a new card without paying another yearly fee? Yes, that's been communicated. So if you paid the original sign up fee for the black card, that product we're rolling out as well. We're testing that currently. So if you already paid the fee, that's covered. And we've communicated that in emails directly to those card holding customers. So one thing I do want to ask, because we're getting a lot of questions about the token specifically. So specifically, as far as like actions of listing the token or getting the token on different products, that is not a role of the company. So Switch, the company, launched the blockchain, but the blockchain now is as an independent entity that is managed by the DGF, which is the Distributed Governance Framework, which is managed by the charter voted on by node owners and node license holders. So there's an entity out of Switzerland called Node Governance. They were voted on and given the authority by the charter to do things with the token, to do the listing. So there was the LBank listing. So the Switch token is listed on LBank Exchange. That was done by Node Governance. So somebody asked about getting the Switch on Ledger, where they could buy it through different ledgers. That would be the role of Node Governance. Anything moving forward. There's also some questions coming in about pricing of the token and the coordination of the Prime Trust thing going on with token pricing. In my opinion, and Brad, Kathy, feel free to weigh in as well. The altcoins as a whole, I think the Switch token current value as far as market cap and volume is in line with other altcoins. I do not see that as a direct correlation to Prime Trust, but again, that's not something that the company manages or the company oversees. The token is anything to do with the token or the blockchain is through Node Governance. Node Governance has issued, I believe they sent out an email to node holders of way to reach out to them and communicate. So if you want to do a proposal for the blockchain or communicate with node governance, I believe it's info. We can drop it in the chat. It's info@switchdgf.com. And that is how you can interact directly with node governance. There's a question here. I'm not sure, Brad, you might be able to, or we can get some clarification. What is the ratio custodied in hot to cold wallets, and are assets stored in hot wallets covered by BitGo insurance? We currently have nothing with BitGo, correct? Like, I don't know what is that referring to, but I know BitGo had issued, they were trying to acquire Prime Trust, but then they pulled back. So I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to, but we are currently not with BitGo in any way. Will you be signing with Santander? No, we're signing with Ibanera and signing with Fortress. It appears when we got the notice, it was too late to withdraw. When notice was given, withdrawal happened. However, it didn't come over. It was already too late when notice was given. We passed along the word as soon as we got the information from Prime Trust. Which cold wallets take the switch token? I haven't seen one. Okay, our customer service is answering. Can we invite node governance on one of these calls so we can ask them directly questions about their plans for listing? I don't know if we could do that, but node governance could potentially host their own call. I don't know. We can discuss that, but yeah, I do know that they have other plans. But again, those are not done by the company. I think the best thing would do is we could suggest that they have their own call. I know they're working on building a portal where node holders can interact directly with them. So we can pass that along. If resolved with Prime Trust in the future, we'll switch, step up, and compensate us for our losses. So I know right now, and I'll revert back to Kathy and Brad, but I know we're waiting to see what happens with the state of Nevada.
And both Brad and I can fill in there. We don't have at this moment enough information to take other action, is what I will tell you. I have actions and plans that we can't share with you at this point, but if we did, it would probably be inappropriate, but I can't answer that question today.
I think it's important too to and maybe everyone knows, but just what a receivership is. It's a third party entity that comes in and takes over the assets that are the customer's assets when something like this goes down. So it's a third party that comes in and unwinds everything for the entity that has been asked to cease and desist. So just kind of a quick on that. So that's why some of our hands are tied on what we can and can't do until we hear from them. And we've passed all the information that we received from Prime Trust to us, and we've passed that on as soon as we get it. And we've given you everything that we've received from them as far as communication goes. We
do think that when the receiver is named and starts sending out information, that information will be public and will come to us and will, and come to the public, but we'll send it on to this community also as soon as we start receiving it.
So we got one last question, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Liquidity has dropped by about 100,000 in the last month. What do you attribute this to? Again, I assume this is referring to the token itself. So liquidity of the token is customer driven and community driven. So I attribute that to people holding their tokens, and people not listing them in liquidity pools. Again, this is token specific. But liquidity is the community putting up tokens in liquidity pools and putting the token out there for purchasing and selling. Brad, did I cover that good, or you have anything?
You're spot on. That's all community driven, and that's where the community needs help. So absolutely.
Well, thank you. So one thing I want to, I just want to add, and then we're going to wrap it up, is these calls and I mean, to have Kathy and Brad kind of get in front of the firing line, is not an easy thing to do. But we do want to be transparent, and we do want to be open and share as much information as we possibly can with the community. So we appreciate y'all. We're all in this ride together. You know, we want the best for the community, everyone involved. And again, so we want to be transparent. We're not hiding anything. I know Brad and Kathy are not actively in Discord. I know that in Discord, there are a lot of questions and people want answers and people want answers quick. And, you know, it's best for us to come together and in a forum like this and answer questions in real time. And we appreciate y'all. And, but yeah, I just want to stress the fact that we want to be as transparent as possible. Our customer service, all the links there, how to stay in touch with us. Our customer service, they're here with us right now, answering questions in the chat. We're extremely proud and thankful for them. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them at any time. And again, we want to be transparent. We want to keep moving forward. We're building in this, crypto winter, in this tough market. We continue to keep moving forward is the main, those are the main takeaways for everybody. So thanks, Kathy, Brad. Thanks for everybody joining us. Thanks to the behind the scenes
Thanks,
people.
everyone. We
We'll see
appreciate
you
you
next
coming
time.
on. Bye-bye.
See ya.